this is legitimate psychological knowledge or just what I learned from movies?
Well, speaking as sort of a crazy guy myself, it rings true to me.
But it was great. I mean, Grimm is definitely still sort of the most satisfying project I think I've ever worked on. It was just a lot of fun, and you know, the Cuban actors, American actors, Irish actors, a guy from Hungary, you know, just all over the place, just to bring that sort of diversity to it.
I would, but I hate sucking gelatin straight from the tap. I'm not gonna eat off of dirty plates.
I remember some trickle-down drama from upstairs in the test pit towards the end where things didn't seem to be getting done as fast as whomever wanted them to be getting done, you know? And I just remember, like, there was some question as to whether or not we'd have to cut a bunch of scenes or even a whole year from the game, you know, or something, because stuff wasn't coming in.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Calavera, what are you doing here? I heard you went pow in Zapato, Daddy.
Well, Hector Lamans tried and missed. Now it's my turn. I'm headed to El Maro to put him out of business.
Manny, that place has changed. You don't know what you're getting into. I'd better come with you. Just give me a minute to get ready.
Okay, but if you hear a loud explosion anytime soon, the trip's off.
I think I offended Tim once when I said, Tim, you should write scripts for movies. This is such a great idea. And Tim said, I make video games. I want to make video games. Why are you telling me to do something different? And I felt bad.
You cried that time?
No, I only cry at night, late at night. But, I mean,
Tim was often at the office at nighttime. I remember him locking his office door and me trying to peek in between the curtains he laid over top of the glass. And he would be in there for days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he finally got down to doing the dialogue stuff, I remember that it was always like a pressure valve that blew on him at one time or another, and he would just lock himself in and churn out this amazing dialogue.
No, I mean, I think Tim was a very intimidating person. To try and be funny around Tim was hard because he was so funny, and I never felt like I kind of rose to.
I relied on my funny Canadianness,
right,
and my looks. That was enough.
I think it was, yes, your biting wit.
I think I bested him one time with a facial expression that was not intentional.
What was the expression? Can you do it for the people on the commentary?
You'll see it in the game if you look hard enough.
Good Lord.
Amazing.
You must be playing Blood Dragon.
It's locked.
Actually, I think it was funny when you came in and you were all excited about working on this game. Like, I really like adventure games. I want to do this kind of thing. I want drama in games. And I think about Telltale, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much in keeping. It was a long time ago. But I remember when you came in, it was like your game that you had worked on was like a helicopter game? Where you
Helicops.
Helicops. Yes. And it was like as far different from this as you could possibly imagine a game would be. And I would not have imagined that a person who worked on Helicops was actually interested in adventure games.
There weren't any games like this. All I wanted to do was play with little people and computers. And I had gotten to the point where I almost ended up working on a baseball game because that was the closest thing I could find to little people and computers. That's when I saw this. I was just like, it doesn't matter. I have to work on this.
Hello, Terry? Lola.
Yeah, the sprouting was came later. It was like a solution to a problem we were having narratively with the game, which is like, how do you make anything matter in the Land of the Dead?
Right.
Like, if you're going up against mobsters in a movie, usually you're afraid they're going to kill you or someone you love, right? Or break your thumbs. And Land of the Dead, who cares? You're dead, right? So we're like, how do you kill people in the Land of the Dead? And so we wanted to have it be that you were essentially brought back to life. Like, it went the other direction. You were returned to flowers. And then flowers become the symbol of death in a weird way in the Land of the Dead. But flowers are such a huge part of the Day of the Dead, like the marigolds that you use in the Day of the Dead celebration. The smell of marigolds are like a big part of the ceremony. So it was nice to have them be part of the game too. And then at the end of the game, we wanted to have this thing called the meadow, which was just full of flowers, which hopefully by that time would just look like death to you.
Is it time to go yet?
No. We're having a little car trouble.
Come by when it's time.
I am back in Rookaville trying to get my car, but it's been booby-trapped.
I have to say, coming out of school, I felt super lucky to, first of all, be hired by LucasArts by some colleagues of mine who went to the same school, and to walk into this building and see all the concept art for this game on the walls. I was like a kid in a candy store. It was instant euphoric inspiration, and I just felt like the luckiest guy in the world coming out of school, getting to work on a project of this caliber. It was beautiful.
I don't want to wake up Toto. I don't want to wake up Toto. I don't want to wake up Toto. No, I don't want to disturb his grumpy little dreams. I don't want to wake up Toto. Don't panic. I think that would only raise the alarm level here. I think this is something I should keep to myself. It's locked, but there's nothing up there anyway. That goes to the upper dock, but nothing's docked there now. Don't panic. I'm not setting foot down there. The slightest bump could start those dominoes tumbling. Maintenance has gotten pretty lax around here, apparently. Not here. Maintenance has gotten pretty lax around here, apparently.
From what I can tell, there's only like 3 places I can go to. I only have 2 items.
Coffin shooter 1, 2, 3, just pour, chill, and serve. Not here.
So nothing inside the blue casket.
It's locked.
Can't use the elevator. There's nothing over here. I only have my sickle and the note.
I know what you're up to. I've been watching. Stay there. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly, Hector Le Mans.
There's a note from Hector on the side.
It's locked. Maybe I'll just finish this for him.
Yep, got it.
I'd drink it, but I'd probably get the SS Lumbago stuck in my throat.
I guess I'm supposed to fill it out with the hookah water. Nope.
I don't really want to do that.
There we go.
That's what the Lumbago diorama needed. Fake ocean water.
Let's see. I'll have to take a look at your list. Or you can just tell me, like, give me what you're even thinking of and I'll pick one for you. Did you finish Talos yet? Well, that's weird. I think I broke it again. It's not of a B and I didn't save for a while.
What's that? It's, Lumbago Lemonade. Try it.
Perkly little aperitif, actually. Yes, sirree. Not bad tall. Tell me where you got that right now!
Olivia's kitchen.
Lumbago Lemonade!
Manny, aren't we in a hurry?
Don't worry. This won't take long.
Oh, my My stomach don't stretch like it used to.
Oh, Glottis.
I'm gonna save just because I got freaked out.
So what is that stuff they pack canned hams in anyway?
Man, Glottis.
Good show, my friend.
You wouldn't happen to have a breath mint on you, I suppose?
I'm really not sticking my hand in there now.
But how do I make it freeze?
It's not gelling.
It can't gel now. It got all nice and warm in my belly.
Liquid nitrogen? Where the heck am I gonna get that? Oh, the air compressor. How do I steal this guy's air compressor?
No, I don't want to disturb his grumpy little dreams.
Doesn't hurt.
Oh, Toto's plum tuckered out.
No, I guess that's Alright, so
Shut your hole.
not bad. Open the door.
Is it time to go yet?
No, we're having a little car trouble.
Come by when it's time.
Alright, so what else we got in here?
Not to sound like a capitalist oppressor, but I have people who do that for me now.
Medicine cabinet. Hmm.
As soon as I think of a use for stinky food waste, I'll give it a shot.
The only medicine cabinet would be in Otto's place, right?
I am an artist. There can't be too much in here.
All right.
Liquid nitrogen, not to be used on bone.
Hey, good idea. I bet I could keep it down now that it's cold.
Just let me get across first, okay? Looks good, but I prefer it with pineapple rings.
I don't know if people agree with me. That was my idea of, what do they call something that makes you barf? Something you take, drink that makes you... No, not expect.
No, it's like
Epicac. Epicac.
That's the
Like
syrup.
a verbal epicac.
Yeah.
Man, he talks about the stuff they pack canned hams in, because it's always grossed me out, that weird gelatin. Everyone would have a different thing that they'd bring up that would make them barf.
Right.
What's yours?
Yeah. Ipecac. Is it? Sounds like what you do when you eat it.
Epicac.
Yeah.
I don't know how players are supposed to figure out this puzzle, that you have to fill the floor with regurgitated gelatin. It's not the first thing that jumps into people's minds. Where the hell did you get that?
I forgot
liquid
there was
nitrogen?
I thought there was I forgot there was a regurgitated gelatin puzzle in the game. That's a standard thing, right?
So silly. Alright, so now what am I supposed to do? Gotta disarm dynamite.
Well, here goes nothing. Looks like Hector's taking over the whole town.
He hasn't had much resistance. There's only one small group who oppose him, and they live out on the fringes of the city.
Places like this, you mean?
I hope they're not hurting Glottis.
Ha. Shows what you know about this group. Their leader is a great man who...
Salvador?
Manuel Calavera, we meet again. I see you have found what you were looking for. Fortunate for you to arrive now just as we too are about to achieve success. Our army has grown, and right now our top agents are in Hector's weapons lab, about to close in on the enemy in his own den. I couldn't have done it without you, Manuel.
It was a trap.
Uh-oh. Flowers.
There's only one thing to do.
Thank you, sir. You have saved me. But more than that, you have enabled me to continue to serve the movement.
What did you say about a trap?
Hector uncovered our agent in his weapons lab.
No.
You idiot, Bowsley. Your new lab assistant is a spy. Haven't you ever heard of a background check?
What? No time to explain. Now I'll have to take matters into my own hands.
Take me with you. I've longed to be of service to your cause for years.
Alright, we're back.
I bet the agent in this photo is the poor guy that Hector just shot. Better save this part from sprouting. Memo to all agents. Priority urgent. In light of the recent disappearances, all agents are ordered to avoid travel in unlit areas until further notice. This camera's showing nothing but flowers. Must be another fallen agent.
Yeah, I remember having to get extensions. That was like my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, no, I would have to go in because I'd be the same thing. Because I always advocate for the artist, and I did. I mean, that's why I loved working with Tim. He's so creative. And so we would talk and collaborate, and then when I'm like, no, look, this is the date, because I'm trying to say the date, and then he did the, the ship story. And so then we had to go get more time. And I was like, well, how are we going to do that? And then he was like, here's my technique. I go into Jack's office, and I stay in there, and I threaten to light myself on fire, and I just scream, and I stay in there until he extends the date. And I'm like, that's a great strategy.
Yeah, it worked.
I know. It worked. Threaten to light myself on fire.
Well,
That's
see,
one
we
of
would
my
never
favorites.
try that in the sound department because Jack would just say, go ahead.
Yeah.
These guys are silly.
Who's the plant nut?
That nut is Hector Lemon's personal munitions expert, Bowsley, a.k.a. the florist. That was his job in the old world, but here he is a botanical weapons expert. This has left him fairly conflicted.
Why does he make Sproutella for Hector instead of our side?
We've been trying to recruit him for years, but his lab is in Hector's tower. He's untouchable.
This scammer sprouted as well. That's 3 LSA casualties in one night.
Hector, I almost have that new bouquet of tulips ready for you. Listen to me once and for all, Bowsley. You are not a florist. You are a manufacturer of weapons.
But Any messages for me?
Nope, calls stopped coming for you the day you left. They're still sending you that lingerie catalog, though.
I haven't done it in too many games, but having a year transition between things and changing the location and letting you pick up friends and travel, like, just allows you to have so much character development where Manny and Glottis have now been through a lot of stuff together, and they're in different clothes, which is, they're in different jobs, and they've moved from town to town together, and just starts to build this real friendship between them, which is nice. And I think I realized I'm going to put 4-year transitions in all games from now on, just so we can have that kind of relationship building.
Come here, little Manny. Ow! Hey, must be little Meche.
I imagine these pigeons being all over the game, everywhere. And they just showed up in a couple places, and it made me sad.
I think I wrote up a crappy bug about that. And I said, we want more pigeons.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Closed.
I think we ran into the polygon limit, and we could only have so many. The pigeons,
We're
because
alpha flats. There were many alpha
yeah, but
flats.
there were a lot of them, and they were actually some of the highest poly things in the games.
It's my fault.
Because I think every bone got built on the pigeons.
They were actually really fun to animate.
Yeah, the pigeons were a real fiasco.
It's kind of
Sorry,
hard.
Alex.
It was my first experience.
I appreciate this. Finally brings some closure to the pigeon situation.
I think
I'm answering your bug right now.
Right now. I'm gonna
Let's
go
close
back
this
and
bug
check this
out.
off.
That was also my first experience animating something and not knowing how it was going to be used. So that was kind of like a different mental shift for me. And it was just the first time I had to make a bunch of idols and loops or, takeoffs and lands that all had to work together. It was pretty interesting. I remember swearing.
Chopped agent? I think I already did that.
The rest of them has gone to seed already.
One of the standard things that happens in Noir is that a guy meets a woman that just spirals him into a world of shadows and intrigue and stuff like that. And sometimes it's because it's a femme fatale who's up to no good, and sometimes it's also a totally innocent woman who just happens to be on this path that she's in sort of trouble, and he gets pulled into it. So you meet Meche in this world, and it spins Manny off into this whole different path. But it's really, for some reason, it was important to me that Manny was actually partially to blame, or feel like he was partially to blame.
Right.
Like he thought he had caused her to be lost.
Right.
When it was actually more Domino's fault that she
Right.
got sent off. He stole her number 9 ticket.
Well, you didn't want to blame the woman, like
Well, no.
say Double Indemnity does, or
Yeah, where she was actually scheming and
Yeah.
and where this is more just someone who Manny feels like he has caused misfortune to come to.
right, or Maltese Falcon does, for that matter. Yeah.
Okay, here's the plan. I need a disguise so I can get close to Hector, and a gun so we'll have something to talk about when I get there.
If you figure out that part, I'll go find out where he is.
His casino tower is directly above these headquarters.
All right, meet me there.
Volunteers quickly for dangerous work. She could be very useful to the cause.
As far as I'm concerned, she is the cause. Calling all cars, calling all cars.
Manuel, is everything okay?
Just testing the equipment, Sal.
Salvador, maybe you should shut that thing off so we can talk.
I remember one day Tony came into the studio and he had a silk shirt on, and on top of the silk shirt he had a sort of a little sweater, sleeveless sweater. And we were recording and it was like, God, what are we hearing? What are we hearing? And the engineer's like, oh, I think it's a sweater. And we're like, hey, Tony, can you take your sweater off? Takes the sweater off. Back to rolling again. Sound's still there. So he took his sweater off and went back to rolling, and turned out it was a shirt that was making the noise. And we were like, Tony, it's the shirt. It's a silk shirt. And so he's like, it's okay. I got a t-shirt on underneath. So he was down,
Just stripping down.
he was stripping down into his t-shirt, and did the rest of the session in his t-shirt. But that was the thing with Tony, is he just loved, he loved working. And for part of the production, he was shooting at night on a movie, and there were a couple of days where he came in and he only had like a couple hours of, a few hours of sleep. And I remember saying, like, we can reschedule the session, and he's like, no, let's do it. And he always was
Nailed
there
it.
to give it his all.
Good job, Tony.
Oh my God!
Look at that.
I forgot about this set.
That looks like a painting or something. That's really
Yeah, this is one of the. Yeah, when you get a Peter Chan drawing, this one was a Widowmaker as well, where you just thought, how does that pipe go into that?
Things didn't quite line up.
You know, I was going to say that environment with the pipes in it, it almost had like a Day of the Tentacle or Sam and Max feel to it. There's a lot of distortion in the pipes, and felt a little more wacky than what we see in the rest of the environments.
No, definitely.
Hello down there. Never mind. Go back to sleep wherever you are.
There's pipes everywhere.
I think something that helped make this game, one of the secrets to it, is just watching a lot of old movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of this, it's like some of them are references, but a lot of them are like plot elements, ideas of relationships between people. Is the subtle stuff that came out of watching old black and white movies, because they just did stuff so differently then. And I mean, I know there were formula movies back then, but they're not the current formulas, and they're not as pat as the movies you'd watch today. They're surprising. Like old film noir movies have relationships between people that feel really different than modern relationships. Some of them are messed up and based on old social things, and some of them are just like cooler. It's weird.
Well, there's a certain stoicism that you don't,
and a certain
kind of reserve maybe you don't see in characters.
And a little
now.
bit of an honesty in characters. Like
At the same
nowadays,
time,
like you don't think the way people talk now. There's different layers of meaning to everything and different
like,
subtexts.
Say everything's cool, which means which means F you, which means that No, it's more like things.
So
were
even though they're old, they're very refreshing, is what I'm saying. Like Casablanca has a lot of just honest people talking honestly to each other in a way that's different than a modern movie.
Okay, I don't know what's down there, but I have issues with it. Okay, I don't know what's down there, but I have issues with it.
A picture of a dude. Nitrogen, notes, scythe, a hand. With a hand.